In today's video, I'll be showing you how to build this factory that automates andesite alloy using the Create mod. So without further ado, let's get to building. These are all the items we'll be using in today's build. For this build, we'll be using a 14 by 11 foundation, but we're also going to give it a second floor. So we'll start by placing up 5 metal girders in each corner. Then we'll place up 5 in the middle, and do this on the other side as well, and there should be 4 blocks in between each of the pillars. Then on this front side, we'll place up 5 pillars here, leaving a 3 block gap, and we'll mirror that to the other side, and there should be a 4 block gap in between these 2 pillars, but only a 3 block gap between these 2 and these 2. And then we'll mirror this to the other side. Then we'll build this same 11 by 14 platform on top of all of the metal girders. And to make it look like it has more support, we can actually place more metal girders on the sides like this, connecting every single pillar. And at these corners, you can see that it's trying to place a metal girder to the right, even though we want to place it on this front face. So to place it on this face, you can simply press your crouch button and then place it. And then we can add a railing by placing up 2 metal girders on each corner. And we can place up another girder on top of where these pillars are. And we'll do that for each of the 6 pillars. Then we connect these up using metal girders on the side. And another thing you're able to do with these metal girders is actually right click on these little squares to remove them. So you can remove those ones that are on the top, and you can do the same thing on the bottom, but if you want to put it back, you can just right click it again and it'll bring it back. And the same thing goes for if there's not already one of the little squares there. And now that we have our platforms, we can get to actually building the machines. To make andesite alloy, we'll be using this recipe to mix 1 andesite and 1 iron nugget into 1 andesite alloy. To get the iron nugget, we'll be washing gravel, which we get from cobblestone. To get the andesite, we'll be putting diorite and cobblestone in a mixer, which mixes into andesite. To get cobblestone, we have a cobblestone generator, but to get diorite, we need nether quartz and cobblestone, using this recipe with the mechanical crafters. To get the nether quartz, we'll be bulk washing soul sand, and to get soul sand, we'll be bulk haunting sand, and sand we get from crushing gravel and crushing wheels, and we get gravel from crushing cobblestone. Now there is actually another way to make andesite, and that's this recipe. And this recipe's fine, other than the fact that it costs lava. And to get lava reliably, you either have to pull lava from a lava lake, or build a huge dripstone farm. And since building a huge dripstone farm is a lot more difficult than just using diorite, that means we're going to be using the diorite and cobblestone recipe. And there's a similar thing with the diorite recipe, in which you can use flint, calcite, and lava to make the diorite. But again, there's the problem with the lava taking up a lot of space. And also, there's just no way to automate calcite other than with a separate add-on. So we'll start by placing a block here with 2 mechanical drills on top facing this way. Then we'll place an 8 block long mechanical belt. We'll place a mechanical belt here, and there's 2 ways we can connect up these mechanical drills. The first way is just to place 3 shafts and then a mechanical belt, and they'll all connect up. But you can also place 3 encased chain drives, which in my opinion look better than the mechanical belt. But they are also a little bit more expensive. So you can pick whatever you want, I'll just stick to the encased chain drives. Then we'll place 2 copycat panels here. We'll place 3 more like this, 2 on the back. And now we'll place 2 cobblestone here, and it's important that you place cobblestone. Then we'll place lava on top and waterlog each of the drills. So the reason we put cobblestone here and not just another block is because if we start this up and we give it some rotational power, you'll see that these blocks never actually break. And that's because whenever you drill cobblestone above a belt with lava and water both touching it, it won't actually remove the block of cobblestone, which means it'll be faster since you don't have to wait for the lava to flow down for it to actually make more cobblestone. And if I were to place stone here instead, you'll see that it takes time to actually refill the stone. So even though stone breaks slightly faster than cobblestone, it's still better to use the cobblestone method. So the next step is to turn this cobblestone into gravel, and to do that we can place a shaft here with 2 vertical gearboxes on both sides, and then on top of each gearbox we'll place crushing wheels, and this will crush the cobblestone into the gravel that we need. And to turn that gravel into sand, we'll place 2 more vertical gearboxes with 2 more crushing wheels, and this will turn that gravel into the sand we need. Now, in the current state, this cobblestone will just drop onto the belt and go immediately into this crushing wheel, but that could actually affect how fast this system works. And what I mean is, if you have 1 stack of cobblestone go into crushing wheels all at once, that is way faster than if you were to crush 64 individual items. So a way to fix that is we can place an item vault here as a buffer and have an andesite funnel go in and a brass funnel go out. Now what'll happen is a cobblestone will go in this vault, go out, and start getting crushed by the crushing wheels, but since there's already cobblestone on the belt, the funnel will know not to put any more out, which will allow this item vault time to store up even more cobblestone. And once this crushing wheel is done crushing, it'll let out all of that cobblestone that was in the vault to be crushed in the crushing wheels at one time, which will be faster and it won't backlog the system because cobblestone is being made too fast. The next step is to turn this sand that we get into soul sand. And to do that, we can place a encased fan here with a soul campfire, and the encased fan will bulk haunt that sand into the soul sand. And so items don't fly off the belt further than where the encased fan can haunt them, we'll place 2 copycat panels here. Then we'll place an item vault here with an input brass funnel to pull the items into it. And we'll need to use a list filter to only allow clay balls, flint, and soul sand to go into the vault, since we get the soul sand from haunting the sand, but we also have a byproduct of flint and clay balls whenever the gravel is crushed. And since we won't be using the clay balls or the flint, we can place a brass funnel here filtered to only output the clay balls and flint. Then we can simply drop them into fire or lava. And to connect this encased fan up to power, we can easily replace this metal girder with 2 encased chain drives, or if you wanted you could do a mechanical belt, but I don't want this metal girder to float, so I'll place it on top of the encased chain drives instead. Next we'll need to take the soul sand from this vault and bulk wash it into nether quartz with a byproduct of gold nuggets. To do that, we'll place an item vault here and an encased fan there. Then we'll place 2 copycat panels with an output brass funnel filtered to only output soul sand. Then we'll place an input brass funnel here filtered to only input nether quartz and gold nuggets. And to actually access this brass funnel, you may need to temporarily remove the encased fan and then place it back. Now, since we don't want this item vault to fill up with items, which will allow items to just build up here and cause lag, we'll place an output brass funnel on top of it with a temporary block and copycat panels on each side. Then we'll place a lava bucket here. We'll filter this to only output gold nuggets and quartz. And it's important that you put gold nuggets first and nether quartz second in the list filter. Now, to tell when this item vault is full of items, we can place a threshold switch below it and set this to 20 stacks on the top one and 19 or below on the bottom. Then we'll want to press invert signal. So now whenever the vault has 19 or less stacks of items, it will keep the redstone signal on, which will lock that funnel from outputting items so we don't accidentally waste items that we need. but once it hits 20 stacks of items, then the threshold switch will send a signal to the brass funnel and tell it to start outputting items because it's full. And to actually send that signal, we'll place 2 redstone links here. You can set their frequency to whatever you want. Make sure to right click this one with the wrench to set it to receiver, and then it should power on. And we can see that the funnel has stopped working because it has the lit up redstone on the side, and we can see that on the top it's closed. But if we remove that redstone signal, it'll open back up. Now we'll simply place an output brass funnel here filtered to only output nether quartz onto a depot, and this is the quartz part of the diorite finished, because now all we have left to do is cobblestone. Now we'll place one shaft here with either a mechanical belt or an encased chain drive line, along with 2 mechanical drills and another belt here with 2 cobblestone in front of the drills. We'll place some copycat panels to contain the lava. Then we'll place the lava on top and the water on here. And don't forget to place copycat panels on the side like I did to keep the water from flowing, and blocks under as well. Then we'll place a few more shafts here and connect these up with a mechanical belt to give this belt power. And I almost forgot to give this encased fan power, so we'll place a gearbox here with 2 shafts, and that'll power the fan. Now we'll place an item vault here with an input andesite funnel to catch the cobblestone. Then we'll place a depot with a brass funnel, and this will be the cobblestone part of the diorite complete for now. Now we'll place a block here with a 3 block long item vault. We'll place 1 set of mechanical crafters like this, and we'll place a second one here, and you'll want to make sure that these 2 mechanical crafters face down into the vault so that the diorite goes into the vault, and you'll want to make sure that these top 2 point down and this one points right, and the same thing on this one except for it's mirrored. Then we'll place andesite funnels on the back of each mechanical crafter so we can actually feed the items. Now to get the items into these andesite funnels, we'll use a mechanical arm. So we'll right click on this depot with a mechanical arm so it knows where to take the quartz from. And we'll right click on these andesite funnels in this diagonal pattern specifically, and if you don't do a diagonal pattern it won't actually create the diorite. Then we'll place down the mechanical arm here, and we'll right click this depot with a second mechanical arm, and in each of the andesite funnels that you did not assign to this mechanical arm we'll assign to the second one. Then we'll place it down, and if you hover over the mechanical arm with the wrench, you can see where its inputs and outputs are. So if you want to just make sure that you got the right funnels, you can hover over the mechanical arms with a wrench. And to power these mechanical arms, we'll place a cogwheel here with a vertical gearbox, and either a mechanical belt or 2 encased chain drives to connect up the gearbox to the cog. And to connect up these mechanical crafters, we'll place a cog with 2 shafts, a gearbox on the end, and another shaft here. And now we have diorite being created. Now we'll break out a bunch of blocks here. We'll place a mechanical belt here, and this will be the belt that carries the andesite. On the top here we'll place 2 basins with mechanical mixers. Then we'll place 2 brass funnels here filtered to only output andesite. Then we can place a mechanical belt here. And we'll place a brass funnel here to take the diorite out of this vault onto the belt, and place 2 input andesite funnels to actually let the diorite into the basin. And right now this item vault would actually fill up with cobblestone pretty quickly, since this is making cobblestone faster than these mechanical arms can make diorite with it. And to fix that, we'll place a brass funnel here with an item vault here with an input andesite funnel. Then we'll place 3 shafts here and connect them up with a belt, and have an output brass funnel to go onto the belt. Now that we have the excess cobblestone going onto this belt, we'll need to bring it all the way over here to be used to make the andesite. So once the cobblestone gets here, we'll place a gearbox and a shaft here with another one right here and connect them up with a belt. And this gearbox will give this belt the correct direction of rotation. Then we can place some copycat panels here so the cobblestone doesn't go too far. Then we'll place another belt connected to this belt, and another belt to bring power down to here, or you could use encased chain drives if you wanted. Then we can place a shaft here with 2 encased chain drives, or a belt if you prefer. Then we'll connect these encased chain drives up to a belt, and this belt will carry the cobblestone that drops down here, and then we'll place 2 input andesite funnels to allow it to go into the basin. Then we'll place either another belt or 2 encased chain drives here, but then we'll place a belt diagonally like this to carry the andesite up into this item vault with an andesite funnel attached to let the andesite go in. Then to connect up these mixers, we'll place a cogwheel here with a vertical gearbox and a shaft to connect it to this cogwheel. And now this first floor is pretty much done. And it's on the second floor where we'll actually be making the andesite alloy. So now we need to make iron nuggets up here so we can mix those with the andesite to make the alloy. And to do that, we'll place a 2x2x6 block item vault here with hoppers to catch cobblestone that will be generating above it. And on top of the hoppers, we'll place windmill sail frames. And on top of those frames, we'll place a mechanical pump facing down. Now we can surround up above the hopper with 4 blocks tall in glass, or whatever block you want. I will just use glass so you can see inside. Then we'll need to fill these mechanical pumps up with water, and on top of all these waterlogged mechanical pumps, we'll place 3 separate 2x2 fluid tanks, and in each of them we'll place a bucket of lava. Now to be able to pick up and place down the sail frames, we'll place 1 block here and break the 2 above it, place a rail with a minecart assembler and a minecart inside, then on top we'll place another block, then on the side we can place a redstone link, and set this to whatever you want. Then we'll place a 4 block long mechanical belt with a brass funnel to put the cobblestone onto it. And we can also make this block look like it's supported by right clicking on this metal girder. And if you want to keep this one here, you can, but I don't like how it's floating, so I'll just remove it. And now even this won't make enough cobblestone for the iron nuggets to keep up with how fast the andesite is made. So we'll make a second one of these that is the exact same, but we'll mirror it to this side. Now to connect this belt up to power, we can break out these 3 blocks and place 3 encased chain drives, then a gearbox, and bring this mechanical belt up to the gearbox, and make sure to place this shaft back. And to connect up this belt to power, we can place a shaft here, break out these, and place an encased chain drive up to here with another shaft to connect up the belt. Now we'll need to extend this belt up again and replace this shaft. Then we'll place 2 shafts here with a mechanical belt connecting them, along with 2 more shafts here to connect up the belt to power. And we'll also need to place a vertical gearbox here with 2 cogwheels like this, a few shafts up to here, and a belt to connect these 2 cogwheels at the top, and that will give these mechanical pumps power. And now to crush this cobblestone, we'll place 2 shafts here and make them each into 5 block long mechanical belts. Now we'll place a shaft here with vertical gearboxes on either side and place crushing wheels on top of those gearboxes. And we'll place another shaft here with gearboxes on the side and crushing wheels on top. Next we'll need to wash the gravel into iron nuggets, and to do that we'll place 3 item vaults here with 3 copycat panels like this. These 2 copycat panels will keep the items from going too far from the belt. We'll place 2 blocks here and a copycat panel. Then we'll place an encased fan here with an input brass funnel. Then we'll need to filter this to only input iron nuggets and flint. And since we don't need the flint, we can place an output brass funnel here, filter to only output the flint. And on top we'll place a temporary block with copycat panels on each side. Then we'll replace the temporary block with lava. And now we can place a water bucket here, so the items will go off the conveyor belt and flow into the stream, where they will then get pulled by the encased fan and washed into iron nuggets. Now to get this encased fan power, we'll place a cogwheel here with shafts below it and connect those up to a vertical gearbox. Then place either a mechanical belt or encased chain drives to connect this fan to power. Now we'll place a 2-block long belt here with a brass funnel filtered to only output iron nuggets. And to connect power to this belt, we can place 2 gearboxes here and make this one vertical. Then we'll place a 5-block long belt here and 3 basins with mechanical mixers above. And this is where we'll be mixing the iron nuggets and andesite to make the alloy. We'll also need to place 3 input andesite funnels, as well as bring a belt down from here all the way up to here. And this belt will end at an item vault with an andesite funnel. We'll place another 5-block long belt here with input andesite funnels. Then we'll break out these blocks and place another 2-block long belt or encased chain drives along with a shaft, and we'll extend this belt by a block, and that will get this belt the correct direction of power. And we'll also need to place a vertical gearbox here, which will not only give this belt the correct direction of rotation, but we can also use it to power these mechanical mixers by placing up 2 shafts and a cogwheel. We'll also need a brass funnel here to get the andesite up this belt. Now we'll actually need to place this cogwheel here and move this gearbox back by a block, and place another cogwheel here to connect it to the mixers. Then we'll break out this Copycat panel and place a mechanical belt here. And we'll place these Copycat panels on the back instead of the front, so we can have space for the mechanical belt. Then we'll place a gearbox here and connect a mechanical belt down to this one, so this belt can actually move. Then we'll place a 3-block long item vault here. And we'll place a brass funnel under each of these basins filtered to only output andesite alloy. And we'll place andesite funnels to catch those into the vault. Then we can place a chest here with an output brass funnel and chutes to go down to the chest. Then you'll want to find wherever you're going to input your power from, and I'll just do it from here. Then you can place a clutch down. We can place a block here with a lever on top, as well as a redstone torch with a link below it. And now if you turn this lever on, the clutch will stop the power from going. And you'll want to make sure this has the same frequency as the links up here. And you want to set them both to receiver mode. And now if we turn this lever off, it should start the contraptions. Now the final thing is to put your power on this clutch. And then we can test this whole system by flipping the lever to see if it all works. So we can see that we have cobblestone going into this vault, being crushed into sand. Almost forgot to say to waterlog this brass funnel so that it actually washes the gravel. And we have cobblestone going in this depot, and we have nether quartz being made, and diorite is being made as well. And we can see that we forgot to connect this belt up to power, and to do that we can simply place a shaft here, and now it's making the andesite. Andesite is going up here into this vault, and we also have iron nuggets being made. Now we can place a brass funnel here to let the andesite go into these mixers. And if we come down here, we can see that andesite alloy is being made pretty fast. And also we can set this to only output, say, 16 at a time, so that this depot constantly has a flow of cobblestone. Since this funnel was just taking all the cobblestone rather than letting this one have any. And since we have our andesite alloy going into this chest, that means this whole factory is working. This is the finished build. Don't forget to leave a comment down below with what you would like to see me build next. And while you're down there, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. Become a member if you want to help support the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.